Choke you.
Artichoke you, artichoke you.
Artichoke you, artichoke me, artichoke the dog. Don't do that ever. We love the dog. We love the piggy dog. We love
Yeah.
the dog, pig, alien, pig, dog.
So were we broadcasting for 9 seconds?
Yeah.
Okay.
You can delete that from your phone.
No, because I'm not signed in. I'm only signed in through buttons and pudding.
All right. I'll just do it after. It's no big deal.
Yeah.
This is the first
Ooh,
time
we're here. We're live now. Yeah.
we're definitely live. We're live on Instagram, TikTok, Twitch, YouTube.
Yeah, Toby.
And we're switching things up a little bit today.
It's exciting.
Don't you think that's a little exciting?
I think it's very exciting. A lot of it exciting.
A lot of it exciting?
A lot of it exciting. It's a scorcher. So I'm in the kiddie pool, chilling, staying cool, staying high, refreshed, hydrated.
I, on the other hand, am in Toronto, Canada, and it is wet, and it is cold, and it is damp.
Bizarre. Living in two different worlds here. I'm about to have me a popsicle in my pool, and you're over there freezing your jimmies off.
Is that
Also,
your plumber voice?
Mm-hmm. That's definitely Sauce Tony.
That's Tony. That's Meat Sauce Tony the plumber.
Yeah. So this popsicle is heavenly.
Is it?
Watermelon agave. It's a little bit naughty, but it's good. Come to me.
Come to you, little puggy, of all our dreams come true. Come to us, little puggy. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Do you have anything to say about that?
No, I'm just settling into my pool, waiting for you to play a video.
Okay. Well, today we are doing a pool edition.
Pool.
Buttons is in the pool, and we're gonna hang out in the pool section today, in the hot tub and pools section of Twitch.
Yeah, switching it up.
And let me know if you can hear this, Buttons.
Scratch. 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 Scratch.
It's not letting me click into the live video. I'm having an issue.
Scratch. Scratch. Scratch.
There we go. Now I see a live video. Now it's letting me listen to the stream.
Can you hear what's happening?
Scratch. Scratch.
Yeah, ASMR.
All right, fantastic.
I hate music like that, but it's hilarious. What's happening to this watermelon?
It's just ASMR, I think.
The fuck? It's giving me anxiety. It's not relaxing me at all. My popsicle's melting a lot faster than I can eat it. Popsicle in the pool.
I'm doing time codes on my phone, by the way.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And I've shared you.
Bless your heart.
He's still going. He's still fucking beating up the watermelon.
Yeah, it's still going. Oh my god, it's gonna explode. I don't like it. Stop! Oh my god. What's gonna happen? Oh my god, it's giving me intense anxiety.
All right, well, maybe that means it's time to move on.
I'm like, what happens next?
It's never. All right,
I mean, that's
all
the script, right? Is that it keeps
All right.
going.
Tu trouves pas que ça sent la gomme ballon?
Very bizarre. That's how they got us. Love the doggies.
This is kind of why I don't watch TikTok, because it's just kitty crack. It's just kitty crack, right?
It's very bizarre. That's not what my TikTok feed looks like. Mine is way more targeted and like entertaining. Yours is like weird.
No, this isn't mine. This is the general. This is This is not based on. See how I'm not logged in? This is just your front.
What is that? Yeah, that's why.
Front page news. You know.
Shit's weird.
Let's check out this Trump Affidavit revealed 20-minute piece that was released by the Bo Show, aka Bo Davidson of the Epoch Times, aka Epoch TV, as it were.
Mr. Epoch TV himself.
Welcome to the Bo Show. When President Trump's Florida home, Mar-a-Lago, was raided by the FBI on August 8th, it was unprecedented.
The Bo Show.
Trump had about 15.
Let's just look at this guy for a second. Is this not a plastic man to you? I mean, even if he's not a plastic man, just his personality, doesn't he give off a very Barbie, like Ken doll man vibe?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's a plastic man.
Okay. So the aesthetic immediately that you're face to face with is just this veneer of phonyisms.
Yeah, he's airbrush.
He's airbrush. That's what. Yeah.
That's an
Boxes
airbrush
of
man.
top secret or classified boxes of documents in an area where the FBI had suggested additional locks just a few months before the raid. That was quite ironic. An affidavit is sworn testimony and contains pertinent information, including witnesses, which are meant to justify to a judge why a search warrant would be required, potentially to investigate a crime. Many affidavits remain sealed since the investigation is ongoing of an investigation. Last week, in an initial hearing before Magistrate Judge Bruce Reinhardt, the Department of Justice argued that the affidavit should remain sealed for this reason.
Weird.
But Trump's legal team argued for a full, unredacted affidavit, considering the unprecedented nature of such a search and seizure. After all, nothing like this has ever happened before. But Trump wasn't the only person wanting it unsealed. The media wanted it too. And Judge Reinhardt noted that there is a significant public interest in this raid. So therefore, last week, he gave the DOJ a week to redact the portions it wants to stay hidden and release some form of the affidavit, which he will then review and determine what can be released. Each side pleads its case. When I interviewed Trump consultant and friend Roger Stone, he explained to me that the DOJ could have gone about this a much different way, since they had been trying to acquire these documents for months. But just as they did with his own home, the DOJ preferred a stealth surprise raid. What could be in those documents they want so badly?
What you think?
So he's saying, what could they want in those documents they want so badly? That's not really the point. Trump was holding onto the documents past the time that it was appropriate for him to do so.
Yeah, it's no longer yours. You have to return it. You're done.
And they asked nicely. There's a whole timeline you could look at.
They're like, you have to give us this thing back.
It's like, sir, please. Sir, we sent you a request we really don't want to bother you.
Please, could you really could you
please, could you? And they didn't. Right? They didn't cooperate. That's the whole point. Like, it's like they are using smoke and mirrors to overshadow the core of the like drama behind this. Trump created the drama. Like, as opposed to the FBI created the drama. No, they were just carrying out their duties.
They literally tried. They're just like, can you there's a timeline.
Yeah, and then Trump will say something like, well, this is unprecedented. This has never happened to a president before. Yeah, that's because
a president's never done this before.
Exactly. A president has never been so eager to shit on democracy for his own personal gain as much as this man, Donald Jeremiah Trump.
Trump even said that
what
they
does
broke
the
into
J
his
stand for?
safe. Stone
Jacoby, as in Jacoby from Papa Roach. Is it Jacob? It's
said that they ransacked his house, even punching through photos of his own mother just to see if anything was behind it.
Cut my life
It seems the feds
into
retrieved
pieces.
11
This is my last resort. Yeah.
sets of classified documents, and that they are looking into
Very
potential violations of 3 laws, including one that governs gathering, transmitting, or losing defense information.
Why? Okay, again, this guy's jumping to losing defense information. Is he basing that on what Trump said? Because if that's what's happening, then obviously he's just spouting propaganda.
Yeah.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The Trump side are the only people claiming that it was possible that when they grabbed all the papers at Mar-a-Lago that they somehow lost documents on purpose in order to like, what? Shut the fuck up. This is all bullshit. This is all smoke and mirrors. It's a mirage. Here's a plastic Ken man.
Here's a plastic Ken man.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Under the Espionage Act. The other statutes address the concealment, mutilation, or removal.
Okay, total projection. Espionage Act? Isn't Trump the one potentially committing Espionage Act?
Right.
It's all just
of records and the destruction, alteration, or falsification of records
My
in
audio's
federal
a little behind yours
investigations.
too, so
Now, before we get into
takes
the
me a while
actual
to
affidavit,
hear
I
those
think
little
it's
bits.
just important to understand how intrusive that this is. As we look back at the Mueller investigation, it now seems like it was a true witch hunt, because the FISA warrant was justified on the basis of Christopher Steele's fake Russian dossier, which had been paid for by the Democratic National Committee and the Hillary Clinton campaign. Without that document, you don't get a FISA warrant, and you don't get Robert Mueller. That started the whole thing. And now we are seeing in documents that Trump would not have been convicted of obstructing that investigation.
It's just all smoke and mirrors, man. Like,
right?
You and I are not pro Epoch Times, right?
No.
I mean, our whole channel's based on how goofy the Epoch Times is, right?
Yeah, that's pretty much the basis of it, yeah.
Right. This not the goofiest shit you've ever seen?
This is peak goofy.
It's like you know what the Epoch Times is they've taken the Alex Jones model and they've taken away the ickiness. They're saying, look at us, we're not spouting conspiracies about pedophile hellholes, with we're just
way more sanitized.
It's sanitized.
It's normal. We're not doing anything wild or extreme. No extremism here.
Yeah.
No extremism.
This is InfoWars, but like normal edition. Vanilla InfoWars.
Tone Police InfoWars.
Yeah.
That was years of taxpayer money spent on a phony document, all intended to seem like Trump had colluded with the Russians to win the 2016 election. That never happened. We saw that special...
Muddying the waters. Okay, so yes, the Russiagate thing is probably bullshit. But like, he's incorporating kernels of truth, perhaps more than kernels, perhaps loaves of truth. And he's dipping it in a tank of deception, which he either knowingly is doing so, or he doesn't realize he's being deceitful, and he actually is drinking the Kool-Aid and totally believes this shit.
Really? I mean, very possible. I mean, it's possible. Okay, yeah, I can see that.
Agent Peter Strzok and his lover, Lisa Page, had created this insurance policy if Trump won. That was flat out corruption and happened under former FBI Director James Comey's watch, whom Trump rightly fired.
Look away from everyone except for Trump. He's a great guy. Stand-up guy.
Right.
Let's shine the flashlight on James Comey, who hasn't been the fucking head of, what is it? The head of police?
Not sure the position.
He was the 7th director of the FBI.
7th director of the FBI, man.
Yeah, so he's the director of the FBI. I'm sure that there's corruption happening on every level under every fucking human you can imagine.
Yeah.
If you turn every rock, you're going to find a lot there. No doubt.
Yeah.
But to me, this is just a tactic of diversion, because Trump is eons more corrupt than any of these people by magnitudes. It's not even by a little bit.
No, it's intentional too. It's just like it's a smoke and mirror. It's like, well, look at this person. They were bad. They did a bad thing.
Yeah. Look away.
But that investigation put a number of people in jail,
these other people, they did
from
bad
Paul
things.
Manafort to almost Roger Stone, had Trump not pardoned him
move.
at the last second. Then came the whole phone call with Zelensky, and they went after that. Trump has posted on his Truth Social that he declassified a number of documents regarding Operation Crossfire Hurricane, which is what led to the Russia collusion investigation. It's interesting to me that Trump would make such a remark right after the Mar-a-Lago raid. Was he hinting at what's in those 15 boxes?
Is he a genius? Is Trump playing 4D chess? Like, bruh, Trump is flying by the seat of his motherfucking pants, dude.
Yeah, he's not thinking that far ahead. He can't.
This is borderline QAnon.
It is borderline QAnon.
Is Trump worried at all about what's in those boxes, or has
Trump
he
doesn't have the
intentionally
mental
set a
fortitude
trap?
to be able to process that many steps ahead. Like, you're just looking at it, you're grasping at anything. Like, all along,
The FBI.
it was all part of the plan.
If they do become public, we all know the truth. And some info about Magistrate Judge Bruce Reinhart. Shortly after leaving his role in the U.S. Attorney's Office in 2008, he represented Jeffrey Epstein's pilot and scheduler, among other Epstein employees. Even if there isn't a noticeable conflict of interest, isn't it odd that he goes from the DOJ, who was investigating Epstein, to defending Epstein associates? Reinhart has made only one known comment about the former president, around the context of the late Congressman John Lewis. Reinhart stated, quote, "John Lewis is the conscience of America. Donald Trump doesn't have the moral stature to kiss John Lewis's feet," unquote. Yeah. Reinhart also strangely recused himself when assigned to the case of Trump's lawsuit that the Clinton campaign and the DNC conspired to make false connections to him with Russia. It's not clear why Reinhart recused himself from that case. But it's Judge Reinhart that saw every bit of this affidavit and approved the raid. How can we not have some doubts about this judge, given the facts presented about his recusal and also his comments about Trump? I mean, even if he'd said that same type of comment about Joe Biden, you might begin to think that the guy's kind of a partisan guy. But rarely does that ever happen in the legal community.
But not Ken Barbie, man. He's not partisan at all.
Oh, of course not.
He's not fucking...
He's a loyal patriot.
Bo Davidson.
Oh, are we going to have a Puggy in a pool? Oh, Puggy's almost in the pool. This is exciting.
It's very cute.
Oh, Puggy, join the pool with me. She's like, oh, wait. I don't like the water part. Just to drink.
That is very adorable.
It's like, I don't think I like the water part. I don't like it. I just wanted to hang out with you. I don't want to get wet.
It's stacked with
Yeah,
leftists.
speaking of.
However,
Okay.
Trump was able to.
You know what? Stacked with leftists. Do you hear that? Stacked with leftists.
Might begin to think that the guy's kind of a partisan
Sounds like
guy.
how I like my
But
nightclubs.
rarely does that ever happen in the legal
I
community.
was about to say it.
It's stacked with leftists.
The legal community is stacked with leftists.
Wow.
Even though many of the judges who threw out his claims of winning the election were not only Republican, but elected by McDonaldo Trump.
Yeah.
So,
Since when has the justice system been stacked with leftists?
it's just a bunch of nonsense, in my opinion.
However,
It's
Trump was
absolute
able to
nonsense.
appoint a number of federal judges. So that may change.
Huggy's very cute.
Trump appointed, rather. I just, if I misspoke, that's what I meant. Appointed.
Okay. Yeah, I was high, so I didn't even.
Trump appointed so many Republicans who fucking thought his what we call the big lie, his claims of winning the election.
Right.
They turned they claimed
The beat down.
they turned it didn't fly.
Yeah.
And it went through Supreme Courts, like state level Supreme Courts, and they rejected
Yeah.
rejected it as well. So.
Bullshit. Everybody knows this is bullshit.
But one thing is clear. In spite of Reinhardt's ethical jurisprudence, as lauded by his peers, his actions and his rare political commentary have spoken somewhat loudly. It certainly.
What do you know about jurisprudence?
Nothing.
Do you know what jurisprudence is?
Mm-mm.
Should we look it up?
Yeah. Like the. No.
Would you like to know what jurisprudence means?
Yes.
Okay.
But no, I do not know. No, I do not know. No, I do not know. No, I do not know, but do I care? We're gonna find out. We're gonna find out. We're gonna find out. And then we'll share.
The theory or philosophy of law. Pretty bland.
All right. Yeah, that seems like a lot of rigmarole for not a lot going on there.
Do you say
Like a big bowl of fucking nothing.
Did you say rigmarole?
Yeah.
I've never heard that before.
Really?
I've heard rigmarole.
Yeah.
What version did you do? Is that like a West Coast version?
Maybe rigmarole. That's what I said.
No, yours was different.
Well, we'll have to review the footage because I can't tell you.
It doesn't merit any
Rigmarole.
threats or intimidation like we saw with people doing and doxing Brett Kavanaugh. But it does call us to
I'm barking at you.
He was just talking about doxing Brett Kavanaugh. Oh, he's not a partisan hack. No, he's not a partisan hack at all.
Not at all.
He doesn't have an angle.
take into
Not a single one.
consideration because it's unique. Now let's look at the affidavit itself. It was pretty bare bones, and much of it, as expected, was heavily redacted. Judge Reinhardt agreed with every single redaction
Yeah, I'll see
FBI
the
DOJ
affidavit
proposed.
itself.
Yeah, it's coming up. Here we go. Affidavit itself.
How's that for fairness? In the copy, which was released on Friday, an unnamed FBI agent said that the government's investigation was predicated on part on a referral from the National Archives and Records Administration, otherwise known as NARA, which has said it identified classified records in the tranche of boxes transferred to it from Mar-a-Lago in January. A review of the boxes by FBI agents identified 184 documents with classification markers, including 25 marked as top secret, the agent said. It reads, quote, based upon the following facts, there is probable cause to believe that the locations to be searched at the premises contain evidence, contraband, fruits of crime, or other items illegally possessed in violation of 18 U.S. Code subsection 793E 1519 or 2071. It appears that this all comes at the behest of the National Archives, yet another one of our very politicized bureaus in Washington, D.C. So it was a special agent at the National Archives that started all of this. You can rest assured that such a person would be partisan, or it could be a rhino-style Republican that's a never-Trumper. We know that's happened before.
Get away.
So now it's if you're anyone but a Trumpist.
Yeah.
Rhino-style Republican, meaning Republican in name only. Because now there's a civil war in the Republican Party.
Oh wow.
You didn't know that?
No, I mean I feel like it's been hinted at, but I didn't know it was that serious.
You didn't know it was that serious?
I didn't know it was that serious. I thought they were like, like kind of like beefing or whatever, but I thought they like were really cute together, so I just thought they'd like work it out or whatever.
Yeah.
They eat all the same things, like at the end of the day, like. So I just figured they would get back to their hateful ways and reunite.
Yeah. You're either in Trumpistan or you're in Republican Coca-Cola, like classic.
Oh.
Republican classic.
In the probable cause section of the
people classic.
affidavit, it says that the archives are very concerned about classified documents that got intermingled with photos, magazine articles, and other correspondence. Now, Kash Patel, who worked for Trump, has said that Trump declassified these documents because as president, he has a right to. In which case, the DOJ is arguing that those docs are not being stored in a secure location at Mar-a-Lago. But if Trump declassified them, then they wouldn't need to be at a secure location. Take a look at all the redactions. Just look at these, page after page after page. So we don't know who the witnesses are who testified and helped create this affidavit, as they want to keep that obscured.
What happened, darling?
My camera disappeared on the stream.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it when I expand the other guy? Does it make yours?
Yeah.
That's what makes it disappear?
Yeah, it's back now.
Oh, okay. Well, I didn't know that. I'll keep that in mind.
In a separate statement, though,
yeah, when you
they
expand
say, quote,
the other guys, but it does it.
Got it.
The government has carefully reviewed the affidavit and has identified 5 categories of information that must remain under seal in order to protect the safety of multiple.
What was that little shirt adjustment thing he just did?
I don't know.
Do you notice that?
Yeah, he like touched the collar all weird.
And he popped it. What the fuck was that?
Was he popping his fucking collar? Is that what that was?
I don't
know.
Let's check it out.
Has carefully reviewed the affidavit and has identified 5 categories of information that must remain under seal in order to protect the safety of multiple civilian witnesses whose information was included.
What does that tell us?
Good question. Don't know what that means in body language analysis, but would love to know.
Yeah, I mean, let's watch it again.
5 categories of information that must remain under seal in order to protect.
Under seal, in order to protect, right?
Yeah.
Popping up the shirt to protect.
Protect the neck.
He feels under threat.
You're right. Yeah.
Feels a little wacky. A little wacky.
The safety of multiple civilian witnesses whose information was included throughout the affidavit and contributed to the finding of probable cause as well as the integrity of the ongoing investigation, unquote. So we don't know who these civilians are who provided this information to the DOJ and NARA. Now, Trump jumped on this. He immediately released a statement saying that
good boy Trump, look how good he is. Good
boy
Trump, he immediately was responsible and he immediately released a statement.
He's good. He's good boy.
He's good. He's seen the light. Do you remember when I played that game of who's going to hell and who's going to heaven with David the masseuse?
Oh my God, yes.
And he's like, yeah, Trump has seen the light. Remember?
He's apologized. Yeah, he's apologized for all of his sins.
For
remember?
his sins. He's good with God. Yeah.
What did he didn't, I'm like, what did he do though, babe?
Joseph Biden's going to hell, though. Hillary Clinton, Nancy
Is he okay?
Pelosi, Chuck Schumer. Trump's going to heaven. Trump's going to heaven.
I don't know.
According to people who are in Trumpistan. If once you're in the Trumpistan, it's a Kool-Aid.
Right.
It's a Kool-Aid.
That there was
You're in the Kool-Aid.
The new Trump derangement syndrome is thinking you don't have Trump derangement syndrome.
You're like, absolutely not. I don't have that.
I don't have Trump derangement.
I don't even love him at all more than anything. He's not my leader and God.
Yeah.
God is, all right? But God chose him. And
God
so
chose him, so he's God's man. So
very close. It's a
there's
hop, skip, and a jump.
Nuclear in this affidavit.
It's a hop, skip,
and that
and
it's a public relations
Trump.
subterfuge
The
by
hop,
the
skip,
FBI and the
Trump.
DOJ. He also points
Away
the
from being
finger
a cult.
at Judge Reinhardt, asking
A
why
hop,
did he not
skip, and a
recuse
Trump.
himself in this case, but recused himself in Trump's suit against Hillary and the DNC. That can't be overlooked. Reinhardt recuses himself when Trump is on the offensive, but does not recuse himself when Trump is on the defensive. That just seems to stink. Now that we know basically what's in the affidavit, it doesn't really look.
Oh my God. Let's do a personality test or something.
Yeah, let's do a personality test. I like that.
Okay.
I'm like, we did it. We did it. We talked about it. We talked about epoch times.
What kind of personality test do you want to do?
Good question.
Colors.
Let's do like how basic are you? I don't know.
This is a true colors test.
Basic girl.
Okay. I'm going to ask you the questions.
Okay. Quiz me, baby.
My strongest skill is being organized, helping others, being brave, learning new information.
Helping others.
My ultimate goal is to be successful in my career, help others, enjoy life, learn as much as I can.
Enjoy life.
I am mostly organized, mostly flexible, organized.
Flexible.
I am mostly realistic, mostly optimistic, realistic.
I think I'm optimistic, yeah?
Yeah. Chaos doesn't bother me. True, false, mostly true.
Mostly false.
I view the world as white and
Wait. Mostly true. Chaos doesn't affect me. I work pretty well in chaos.
I view the world as white and black, shades of gray, shades of black, black and white.
I don't know. The spectrum, baby. The spectrum, baby.
So which one's that? Shades of gray?
Shades of gray, I guess.
Next page.
Sounds like a fucking Grateful Dead song. And it's lots of shades of gray. That's how life goes when you're chill. Such a long, long time to be gone, but so much time to have thrills. You like my cover?
It was wonderful. It was delectable. It was escapism at its finest moment.
Thank you. I see you. I hear you. I acknowledge you. Yeah, let's move on to the next question.
Okay. Others describe me as dependable, punctual, caring, sympathetic, communicative, flexible, charming, optimistic, spontaneous, analytical, creative, calm.
Either 2 or 3, right? I don't know.
Okay.
2 or 3.
We'll go with sympathetic, communicative, flexible.
Yeah.
As opposed to charming, optimistic, spontaneous.
I don't know. I want to be I want to be 3 more than I want to be 2.
Which one are you going with? Because I can't decide.
I'm going to choose 3 because that's who I want to be.
Which one's that?
I'm done being helpful.
Oh, charming? That one?
Yeah, I want to be charming. I'm done being helpful.
Okay. I take pride in my dependability, impact, empathy, competence.
Yes.
Dependability, all of them?
Oh, yeah. I'm like all of them. What are my options again?
How about dependability, or is it empathy?
Empathy, probably.
You take pride in that shit?
Yeah,
You're a prideful button?
little bit. I try to stay away from that.
From what? Being
Pride.
overly prideful?
Yeah, being overly prideful.
I am typically led by mostly my head, mostly my heart, my head.
My heart, my heart, my heart, my heart, my heart.
At work, I am the organizer, energizer, mediator, big thinker.
Energizer, baby.
In romantic relationships, I value trust and security, keeping the romance alive, keeping things fun and exciting, challenging each other's ideas.
Challenging each other's ideas.
I am objective, mostly compassionate, mostly objective.
Mostly compassionate.
Next page, baby.
Mostly.
I most value tradition, relationships, freedom, knowledge.
Relationships.
I always go out of my way to help others. True, false, mostly true.
Mostly true.
Others are drawn to me because I am dependable, a good listener, fun, insightful.
Fun.
Yeah, you are fun. You're a fun little button. I am sometimes too uptight, trusting, irresponsible, unrealistic.
Trusting or unrealistic? Mm.
I would enjoy a career in accounting, education. Hold on. Each one is long, okay? 1, accounting, education, or administration. 2, social work, journalism, or customer service. 3, acting, sales, or teaching. 4, research, medicine, or photography.
3.
Acting, sales, or teaching?
Yeah, baby.
Okay.
I'm all 3.
I feel like birds keep flying into the windows.
Scary.
That's all you have to say about it?
Yeah, it's scary when birds fly into the windows. You got to put little decals up there or something so they know that it's not. Windows are probably too clear and clean, so they just think that it's.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Face.
All right, I'm going to look into that.
Yeah.
All right, I am accepting of others even when I disagree with them.
Try to.
Mostly true.
Yeah.
Next page.
Next page.
You having fun?
Yeah, I'm having a lot of fun. Puggy's having a great time too.
Okay.
She's hot, laying in the shade, and I'm splashing her with little bits of
Can
water.
you see Puggy's giant tongue?
It's pretty hard. I'd have to move the camera.
Fine.
I'm wet.
All right. My biggest weakness is being stubborn and expecting too much from others. Being too sensitive.
Why'd you pause like that? Huh? Why'd you pause like that, sir? Why don't you read the rest of the answers, sir?
Uh-oh.
You're on thin ice, buddy.
All right. No facial expression.
Yeah, 0.
Being too sensitive, speaking up when you disagree. Being pushy and bending the rules, or losing focus when you are bored, too analytical.
Being too sensitive.
I am an introvert, extrovert, mostly introvert.
Mostly extrovert.
Button likes quiet time.
But I like quiet time, yeah.
At work, I am the organizer, mediator, energizer, big thinker.
Didn't it already ask me that and I said energizer?
No, they asked it a different way. Others frustrate me most when they are irresponsible, dishonest, boring, or incompetent.
Incompetent.
Boring
I
is a hard one though to deal with.
Yeah, boring is really hard. I guess maybe boring more than incompetent, right?
It's up to you. It's your personality.
I guess boring more. I'll put up with incompetence longer than I'll put up with somebody that bores me.
Honestly, irresponsible is worse than boring. Boring is I'm just making fun of boring. Boring is actually like the second best.
Yeah, but I have a lot of hot messes. I like messy people.
So incompetent is what frustrates you the most?
I think incompetence, though.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would enjoy a career. Oh my God. They are asking the same questions. I am accepting others. What?
Give me my results.
Wait a minute. They're asking me the same questions over and over, and there's no end in sight.
They're just like, keep answering them.
But it says I'm 80% of the way through. Oh my God. All right. Do you mostly value tradition, relationships, freedom, or knowledge?
Relationships.
I am mostly optimistic. I don't remember what you said.
Yeah.
I take pride in empathy. I believe sometimes it's okay to bend the rules. Mostly true.
Yeah.
I like others to perceive me as caring, responsible, exciting, intelligent.
Caring.
Okay. Your personality type is blue.
Blue.
You're blue.
I'm blue. I'm blue. Da boo dee ba boo die.
If you were green, you would die, but good thing that you are blue. Second, so you're mostly blue, second place orange, third place green.
Oh, okay.
You're blue. So blue characteristics: flexible, compassionate, personable, imaginative, and warm.
Yeah, okay, that's me.
You're typically calm, optimistic, and kind. You're a genuinely caring and compassionate individual who tries to see the best in others and in every situation. In stressful situations, you are able to remain calm and mediate situations between individuals.
Yeah, for the most part.
You are not a leader who is the loudest or most charismatic, but rather you are a quiet leader who inspires others through your own hard work and kindness towards others. You truly lead by example.
Aw, that's how I try to do things. Yeah.
You should be a faith leader.
A faith leader.
Yeah. Do you want to see some faith leadership?
Well, I like leading yoga, and that's a spiritual practice.
Here's some faith leadership at TED.
Authentic self. And so when COVID came and the pandemic, I was not bonded with my child because I wanted to get back to show that a leader was present and that a leader to you. You've normalized and
it's not what I wanted it to be. How about the power of addiction and the addiction of power? How about that?
I can be down. I'm not immediately drawn to it.
Nothing records the effects of a sad life as graphically as the human body, because these people lose everything. They lose their health, they lose their beauty, they lose their teeth, they lose their wealth, they lose human relationship, and in the end, they often lose their lives. And yet nothing shakes them from their addiction. Nothing can force them to give up their addiction. The addictions are powerful. And the question is why? And as one of my patients said to me, I'm not afraid of dying, he said, I'm more afraid of living. And the question we have to ask is, why are people afraid of life? And if you want to understand addiction, you can't look at what's wrong with the addiction, you have to look at what's right about it. In other words, what is the person getting from the addiction? What are they getting that otherwise they don't have? And what addicts get are relief from pain. What they get is a sense of peace, a sense of control, a sense of calmness, very, very temporarily. And the question is, why are these qualities missing from their lives? What happened to them? Now, if you look at the drugs like heroin, like morphine, like codeine, if you look at cocaine, if you look at alcohol, these are all painkillers.
Do you remember the guy that was interviewed in the Amber Heard Johnny Depp trial, who looked like he was high on blow?
Not offhand.
It's considered an internet classic.
I'm like, everything that I know about that case is what I've learned from you. Like a bad game of telephone. I'm like, whatever you have shown me is what I know.
Oh, this guy's a psychiatrist.
During your deposition, what were the circumstances under which you decided to call Mr. Depp an idiot?
Under somebody call Mr. Depp an idiot?
Yeah, you called Mr. Depp an idiot in your deposition. Why?
Okay. So I think it was in the context. I think it was in the. You probably should read the context of it, because I think the context was, and I'm trying to think back. Okay? And what I thought it was related to was, if you're coming to some deposition, okay? And again, I'm thinking back, so you have it in front of you. I don't. So I'm thinking back where he's coming in from Europe for a deposition, video deposition that he gave, and he took an overnight the night before. And what I think I said was that if you're going to do a major thing to a trial that you're involved with, I think you'd be an idiot to come in the night before. All right. So I didn't call Mr. Depp an idiot. I certainly called that planning an idiot. I didn't call him an idiot.
So the words.
So the question is this guy fucked on drugs?
Yeah.
So
I love how he's like, let's get this story straight. We got to bring it back for context. It's like what you did though. You called him an idiot.
Have you noticed him slurring his words?
A little bit.
Okay. So let's watch. This clip is like one of the best clips I've ever seen.
Idiot are mistranscribed?
No, I'm sure. Again, if I said it in that, if you're just reading one line, one snippet, I'm sure it was in the context I just said. But again, you have it in front of you. I don't.
Yeah. Is idiot a professional opinion?
I wasn't rendering professional opinion.
Yeah.
No.
Is it a psychiatric opinion?
And that follows the Goldwater rule.
How does it follow the?
I just said that I'm not rendering a professional opinion. I just said idiot. That's not a.
No, so idiot is not a professional opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Is it your practice to describe people as idiots?
My practice to describe people. In my practice? No, I don't describe people clinically.
Did you catch that quick fish face? That guy?
Yeah.
Did you catch that?
I catch the fish face. I caught it.
Really quick in and out of the face.
Yeah, it was like a twitch.
Yeah, like he's on drugs. Like a drug twitch. Shall I keep going?
Yes.
My clinical cases as idiots, or patients as idiots, or victims as idiots. No, sir.
But you sat for a deposition in this case and described the plaintiff as an idiot, correct?
You gave me 9 hours of deposition, and if I said the word idiot, it was an idiot in planning. It wasn't making him an idiot. I don't know Mr. Depp's IQ. I don't know his overall functioning. So therefore, if I said it, it was an idiot in planning, which is what I meant to come across as.
So you did say you don't know his overall functioning, but you made some testimony today as to some evaluations you made relative to his functioning. You would agree with me that it's probably a good idea to think about the questions that are asked you in a court proceeding before answering them.
Am I allowed to answer that question?
Yes.
Okay. So what I meant by function, what I said by function, I believe that his agent reported how late he was showing up to every movie while the cast is waiting for him. I believe that would be an impairment. If I showed up late for that, I would not be here right now, would not have a job. Okay? I believe the thing was in terms of balking out of treatment for substance rehab that his doctor is prescribing for him. So if you're asking me if that's an impairment of functioning, I would say I'm very much substantiated in that.
I'm trying to understand how you got to this notion of cognitive decline. And I thought it was based at least in part on the manner in which he testified.
I'm sorry, what?
On the manner in which he testified.
On the manner, I'm sorry, I'm not being difficult. I can't hear. I'm sorry. On what?
I was asking you about the cognitive decline
Yes.
testimony that you made.
Yes.
And it was my understanding that at least a portion of that testimony that you rendered was that you derived some evidence of cognitive decline from the way Mr. Depp testified.
Yes.
Okay.
And that's what I said, yes.
Right. And so all I'm asking you is, don't you think it's a good idea when you're in the middle of a court proceeding to answer questions carefully?
Again, professionally, we diagnose patients with a neurocog disorder by gross evaluation all the time with cognitive, on the thought that, again, age normal controls, I'm just saying, age normative controls does not put a 58-year-old gentleman at that processing. That's all I'm saying. That's all I said.
And you derived this without ever once talking to the man.
That's all I said.
Me directly talking to him. Because we know how I derived it. So you're talking about me directly talking to him?
Yeah, you never talked.
No, I've never talked to him.
Right. And this exam you gave, well, you did talk about Dr. Blaustein, right?
Yes, sir.
And you understand that the entirety of Dr. Blaustein's medical records are 12 pages of handwritten notes.
The important part was what I said. For me, as an example of cognition, which I'm trying to prove, which is what you asked me, the important part was what I said. And that was irrefutable.
The important part is that he gave the mini mental status exam?
Yes, sir.
All right. Let's talk about the mini mental status exam. Scored on a 30-point scale, right?
Yes.
All right. And it's an exam that basically is most often used for, what, Alzheimer's, dementia, those kind of testing?
It's an exam that tests cognition in all psychiatric illnesses, not just Alzheimer's. It was made for dementia, for Alzheimer's, but is the standard, has been the standard for testing cognition in all psychiatric illness, substance use disorders included.
Okay. Now, there is an element of that exam that requires drawing, correct?
Yes.
So you don't know what drawing Mr. Depp did or whether the drawing should have been fully scored.
I wasn't questioning his visual spatial perceptual skills, which is what that does.
Right. And you don't know what score Mr. Depp received on the exam.
I was very specific. I know 3 words, not remembering at 5 minutes. That's all I said.
3 words, not remembering 5 minutes, and he remembered one of them, right?
From what I understand, he didn't remember any of them.
All right. Memory on the exam, out of the 30 points, what's it worth? 3. 3, right? Memory is 3 out of the 30.
Yeah, memory's 3.
Okay.
And again, the memory section in and of itself tests memory.
He did the fish face again.
Yeah.
But it's ramping up to the best part.
That's the only question that tests memory. Only section that actually
get
tests
it.
memory.
So the memory section tests memory. It's the only section you testified about. And for all you know, that with respect to the exam that you're relying on, Mr. Depp scored 27 out of 30.
And that would be telling, though, cognitive, if you score 27 out of 30 and you miss 3 points on memory. That would be very telling.
You don't know if Mr. Depp had been up all night the night before.
Again, you wouldn't expect to not recall any words at 3 minutes unless there's a cognitive issue.
You don't know if Mr. Depp was high.
And again, now that's, again, now that could affect memory, but I'm not refuting that. I'm not refuting that at all. He could have been high, he could have been drunk, he could have been using cocaine, and that would absolutely affect his memory, which is what I said.
Yeah.
Yes, you're right.
So ultimately, you have no idea what state Mr. Depp was in at the time he took the exam that you're relying on.
Short of what you just said about drugs and alcohol, okay, there shouldn't be a reason why a 58-year-old also with strokes and other neurocognitive conditions, but short of that, there shouldn't be a really good reason why someone at that age shouldn't come up with at least one. But in answer,
but wait a minute, you started that question with short of drugs and alcohol, and spent 35 minutes talking about his use of drugs and alcohol. Isn't that right?
Oh, I'm agreeing. I thought I agreed with you. I think I agreed. I said that drugs and alcohol can absolutely affect cognition. I'm not sure. Yeah, I agree, but I'm not sure if that's a problem. I agree with you on that.
All right. So you don't know, one way or the other, how he scored on the exam. You don't know whether he was at the time on drugs and alcohol, but you're going to rely on it in your testimony to say that he's cognitively impaired.
Which is what we do in clinical medicine, sir.
Okay. You rely on tests that you don't know when it was administered, you don't know the score of the test, and you don't know the state of the person being tested, but you're going to rely.
Okay, Johnny Depp, psychiatrist, weird look. This is what I was hoping for. Oh, this is it. Okay, about
how I've seen him interact in public. How I've seen him interact with others. I've seen him interact in media. I've seen him interact and his process speed is certainly not slow. I've seen him do commercials. His process speed was not slow.
At deposition, didn't you say that what you did was compare Mr. Depp's performance in lots of pirate movies against his deposition testimony here?
What I said was I've seen Mr. Depp do apology ads. I remember he did an apology ad with Bad Dog with no delay in process speed. I've seen him interact with the media regarding to that. I saw no delay in processing speed. All I'm saying
Let me ask you about pirates, though. You compared pirates to the to the depositions given in this case.
Then I apologize for what I said. Then I misspoke.
You misspoke? You didn't make the comparison?
Right now, just a second ago? Just a second ago, I may have said that I misspoke. I apologize, I misspoke.
Okay. Because you know you can't compare pirates to sworn testimony, right?
Yes.
Okay.
But you can, but as an aside, you can judge someone's processing speed at any time. Like I'm judging yours right now, you're judging mine. We all judge processing speed as a baseline because of what we know about each other. And I would say your processing speed right now is not slow. So, I mean, we're judging processing speed. I'm just saying to you.
Yeah. But no, any of Mr. Depp's other portrayals in movies, did that affect your analysis of processing speed?
Only I've seen him interact on interviews, and that was it.
Right.
When he wasn't in movies.
Right. But Willy Wonka doesn't matter to you? You see him in that movie, Charlie and Chocolate Factory? Did you look at that one when you were comparing his processing speed?
Do I have to answer that
Oh,
question,
wow.
Your Honor?
Oh, wow.
You have to answer
That's
questions.
big mouth
Mr.
tick thing going
No,
on
you'll
there.
be happy to know I didn't see Willy Wonka, and I didn't see 21 Jump Street when it happened, or whatever it was about. No, I did not.
It's another fish face right there. Oh my
Yeah.
God, good stuff.
Yeah,
Do you think he was?
he's lit for sure.
What's he lit on? Methamphetamine?
No cocaine.
You think he's doing blowski?
Yeah,
Really?
that's the vibe.
I see a laugh out loud wow from Buttons and Pudding.
That's me.
That's you. What were you laugh out loud wowing?
Him just going on. It was a while ago.
Oh, okay.
Couldn't tell you.
Very cute.
You're cute.
All right.
That was a fun, wacky little dive. Give me the weed. Pass me a joint. Let's all get high.
Here's
that's the point.
here's Sea of Tranquility's ranking the albums. Venom. Is that a band you like? Venom?
I mean, I listened to Venom. Would I have enough interest to rank all their albums? No. But I would love to watch the video.
Do you want to see two dorks rank Venom?
How long is the video?
Oh, we can't do that. Nah, it's not worth watching. Sorry I even suggested it.
Okay, how long is it? Was it long? It was like a 43-minute video or something?
That's actually exactly how long it was.
Oh wow. I knew that's how long a nerd would talk about it.
Yeah.
Noid territory.
Okay, here's some peak cringe. Michaela Peterson posts on her YouTube channel, Incel God, in quotes, Incel God Jordan Peterson, her dad, as Olivia Wilde's movie villain. So she's referring to her own dad as Incel God.
Okay, interesting.
Strange. I keep seeing these club random videos pop up in my feed.
Yeah.
Bill Maher just smoking a joint, showing people how relatable he is.
He's like, I'm so relatable. I'm very chill. I'm a down to earth
that way, and
human.
Then the girl would say, "What happened?"
I do lots of human things.
Like, I let him go. Oh, I get it, because you actually let him go. Or, before he shot him, he'd say something to the guy, you know.
It's always a witty line.
It's always some,
I'm like Vin Diesel if he were neither fast nor furious.
I guess you were in too deep.
Oh boy.
That's for dads.
Oh God. Do you know about this? Rob Schneider is now a Republican.
Oh no.
Did you know?
Today's guest.
No, I think
Rob Schneider on Glenn Beck
has undoubtedly made you laugh at some point. You may have even quoted some of his catchphrases over the years. He spent a few seasons on Saturday Night Live, back when it was still doing comedy, the golden era, along with Chris Farley, Adam Sandler, Janine Garofalo, Chris Rock, Phil Hartman,
I love when people
David
talk
Spade,
about like
Mike
that.
Myers.
When they talk about what?
Saturday Night Live like that. I mean, they're not wrong, but
I mean, SNL now is not good.
yeah, it hasn't been good in a long time. But I just love when old timers talk about the way things used to be.
Dennis Miller. Some of his characters,
back in my day,
a gigolo, a Martian, a dinosaur, a prince, a guru, a donkey rider, a sensitive nudist, a delivery guy, creepy Elvis, a crime-fighting animal, a surf ninja, a petty criminal who morphs into Rachel McAdams, and a copy machine guy who loves to give people nicknames. He starred along with Jean-Claude Van Damme in a movie about counterfeit fashion. Seinfeld, he was the guy who might have been faking a hearing.
Once I saw Schneider in a hot tub.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. He was signing autographs, and people were waiting in line to get Schneider to sign their autograph.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. True story.
Problem
in a hot tub.
In a hot tub in a hotel.
Like, he's wet. Leave him alone.
This was during his height. This was during his Deuce Bigelow years. He was very famous.
Wow.
Yeah. His commercial peak.
And he mocked Stallone's ignorance about toilet paper. In Waterboy, he turned 4 simple words, "You can do it," into an iconic punchline. He is a core member of Adam Sandler's Happy Madison Productions. He has been the main character in sitcoms on CBS and in Netflix. In 2020, Netflix released a stand-up special, Asian Mama, Mexican Kids. His latest movie, Daddy-Daughter Trip, comes to theater.
Okay. Should we look up Asian Mama, whatever it's called?
I don't know. I don't think it's aged well. I don't want to watch it.
Well, this came out this year.
Oh, really?
This is a new Netflix special. Look, it's called Asian Mama Mexican Kids. Here's a trailer.
I'm at the age now. It's not that I'm less interested in sex, but I'm as interested in cookies. Like people in their 20s and 30s, they just don't get it yet. People in their 20s and 30s are like, let's get fucked up. You want to get fucked up? Get fucked up. No, I don't want to get fucked up. I don't. I'm in my 50s. I only feel good like 2 days a month. Why would I want to fuck up one of those?
Is Rob Schneider the new Jim Brewer?
Yeah.
If I want to get
also from SNL, notice how that is the case about the world.
Right. The SNL to bad dad joke pipeline.
I mean, Dennis Miller started it. He was the first one to go conservative.
Wow.
My age, I'll eat some
It's a
cheese.
SNL to conservative dad pipeline.
Membership. Thank you, honey. Oh, thank you. I know. I went over there and I saw these old guys. They were working out, and
I mean, Adam Sandler's a Republican. He doesn't speak about it, but he is.
Wow, he is? Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
They were ripped, but it looks weird. Something's off. I was like, what is it? The rip? Then I figured it out. You're not supposed to be ripped when you're old, because your skin gets stretched too thin. It's like, look how ripped I am. Yeah, but I could see your heart.
Oh God, it's not very good, is it?
Yeah.
It's not very good, is it?
No, it's not very good. Do you like how I was like, it aged terribly? But you know what? It never came out well. So of course.
Rob Schneider is half Filipino.
Okay.
Is he Jewish at all? Is he half Jewish?
Schneider. He's with Adam Sandler. Maybe. I don't know.
Oh my God, look at the hat Rob Schneider's wearing in this interview. No.
No. You know how I feel about people that wear scallies. I don't like it.
No.
It's like fedora light. I don't like it. I don't want it.
We've lost him to the dark side. Just face it. Schneider has released himself from our beautiful grip.
Yeah, R.I.P.
Looking at the Empire
Not
State
R.I.P.
Building.
but
So when he's talking to me, we're like,
he's gone. Yeah, he's gone to the dark side.
He has an office at the Empire State. I'm just a kid from
Sad.
from a beach town, and
All of the corny one-liners gone.
the National Socialists took over in 1933, 1934. A stronger leader to come in, and I hope it's DeSantis. I mean, I think
He's hoping for DeSantis. Did you catch that?
Oh, wow.
He's hoping for DeSantis. What the fuck is going on, man? Apparently Joe Rogan's for DeSantis.
What?
Yeah. DeSantis is kind of the favorite right now.
Everybody's loving it.
They're eating up DeSantis. Remember one of our first segments was a DeSantis segment?
Yeah. Disney, DeSantis. We talked about all the things that Disney owns.
Yeah.
seems to be a strong leader who goes against the. I mean, it was really him who went up, who stopped the lockdowns, the pandemic. It was really he is the driving force.
And it's.
Do you hear that? This pro DeSantis talk?
Yeah.
He stopped the lockdowns. Looks like Rob Schneider's a Florida man.
Yeah, clearly big Florida man. Big Florida man vibes.
The same talking points that Joe Rogan's been spouting lately.
It's not. He's not.
It's not comedians
when you're saying,
that did it.
When you're,
It's not
when you're
comedians.
saying, but I think comedians play a role.
I don't think they play a big role because I would say this. John Cleese said this the other day. He said they talk about Peter Cook. It's like he said you never heard like those cabaret performers in Berlin. Like, thankfully for us, we're able to stop those damn Nazis from invading Poland. It wasn't for our jokes and our dancing and our lewd shows. We were able to put a stop to those Nazis. But I'm sorry, I interrupted. Liberal, and I said, Dick, it's not getting better. How is it getting better? Manifestation is your ears melting off your face. And you have to say.
So Rob Schneider has really planted his feet in the sand, and he's not with the libs, is he? The libs, the lefties, the progressives, he's not in with them. Uh-oh.
Fox News alert tonight. We
The least likable guy.
finally got our hands on the mountains of
This guy,
evidence
Jesse Waters on Fox
that the Pelosi's have spent months trying to cover up. The picture of Paul Pelosi's DUI is finally starting to come together. Every second of that night was documented in excruciating detail, and we have all of it. Punishment.
Would you be willing to do the breathalyzer?
Gotta love me some Tucker Carlson.
Yeah.
Good evening and welcome to Tucker.
These are all old, though. Getting cucked by Tuck.
Man, do you think anybody goes to their barber and says, "Give me the Tucker"?
Okay, this guy is a nutcase. Do you know about Dan Bongino on Fox News?
Mm-mm.
This guy is a knucklehead nutcase. You ready?
You know, I'm tired of
Give
the
it to me,
government
baby.
treating us like infants, folks. No, I mean infants, like actual infants. You know, infants that rely on mommy and daddy for everything. You know, you got to change their diapers, you got to feed them and all that stuff. Infants don't do anything by themselves because they can't. You leave an infant, it's not going to survive. The government thinks we're infants, though.
Yeah, I
and
know
we're
how
not.
babies
I'm
work.
47. I was an infant a long
Got it.
time ago. Why am I bringing this up today? So I was thinking of the monologue this week, and I got to thinking, yes, government treats us like little children all the time. And it's
Really
not
sounds
just
like a
an
whiny
act,
man baby
folks,
to
of
me.
misfeasance.
Right.
It's an act of malfeasance. In other words, it's not just that government's not helping, it's that it's actively screwing up your life. You know, here's the difference, right? Misfeasance is someone falls in front of you on the sidewalk and you don't help them up. That's bad, right? You know what malfeasance is? They go to get up and you punch them in the face. See, that's government. Folks, when the government makes a decision for you, whether about your health care, your education, your taxes, your money, where you can travel, what kind of car you can buy, you don't make that decision yourself. That's not misfeasance, it's malfeasance because they stole from you. They stole from you the opportunity to make your own money, to make your own healthcare decisions, to choose where your kids go to school. They stole from you. That's a thief. They've stolen from you. You know, just a quick story. Someone very close to me called me this week. Doesn't matter who, but I promise you, unlike a Joe Biden story, this is.
Yeah. What says you about this guy?
He's wacky.
He's wacky.
Is real.
He's definitely wacky.
And they were crying, and it really bothered me, and it dug at me, and I so desperately wanted to fix her problem. But I only would have been fixing the problem for me, not for her, because if I did it, I would have stolen from her the opportunity to figure it out. That's what government is stealing from you by treating every one of you like infant children. They want to make every decision from cradle to grave. I've talked about this before. Remember the segment we did on our show about Barack Obama's Life of Julia, where every single component of Julia's life, there's some government intervention to make decisions for them? Here, take a look. Remember President Obama's embarrassing PR campaign? Remember this one in 2012 called The Life of Julia? Told the story of this woman from the childhood on, completely dependent on government programs to live her life as a devoted Democrat from start to finish. Of course, you know, it was all propaganda. Folks, infants, they need parents to survive.
Is that just him quoting himself?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Free
I think
citizens
this
of the
guy's
United
attacker
States
for
do
himself in the
not
third person.
need government to survive. There's a difference. Government creates centralized power and seeks control over people. And in exchange, some people who really don't need it claim to want it because they don't want to take responsibility over their whole lives. If people believe they can govern themselves, and big government has a major problem. That's why they don't like that whole thing. Free thought, that's why they love censorship.
Why is it an all or nothing proposition?
Yeah, why is everything so all or nothing?
Can't the government do some things efficiently and well? Does anyone want the government to do everything for them? It's not even like that's to me. That's just a straw man.
Yeah, no, it's a total straw man. Biggie timey straw man.
Big government and the politicians who run it treat citizens like infants.
Also, like,
think about it. Completely
getting on any like government assistance, like SSI and stuff like that. There's caps on them, so it keeps people in poverty. You have to jump through so many hoops to be able to get these like assistance programs, and then you can't ever actually get yourself out of them because as soon as you make too much money, then you get kicked out and you don't have access to like healthcare and stuff like that.
Right.
Relying on big daddy and big mommy government. We see it everywhere. The Biden administration acts like we're little children who can't think or act for ourselves. They need this. The very definition of infantilism is, quote, an act or expression that indicates lack of maturity. Does that sound like how the Biden administration acts when it comes to solving real problems? It's like they think we're too dumb and immature to figure out what's going on for ourselves. They treat us like infants. It's no different. Who are just supposed to accept, by the way, their blatant lies as truth as well. Well, like this, Jim.
Do you realize the bullet out of an AR-15 travels 5 times as rapidly as a bullet shot out of any other gun?
They talk to you like you're children. 5 times as fast. We're not infants, folks.
Wait,
fairy tales don't work on.
Is that true or is it not true? Are you suggesting he's lying about that?
Yeah. Are we all supposed to know about the different speeds that bullets shoot out? Because I don't.
Obviously, I don't.
So you can talk to me. So obviously you can talk to me like a baby about that because I don't know.
But also, he wasn't talking to people like they're babies. He's an old fucking man.
Yeah, and he was just giving information. Just stating information.
On us.
That was a stretch.
Unless you're liberal.
That was a stretch for
Remember
sure.
the Affordable Care Act
Nothing
and
happened
Obamacare?
there.
It was supposed to be
No
the
points
answer to
awarded.
getting uninsured Americans covered and bringing down health care costs. They were going to fix it for you. Now, after more than a decade of big government help and the COVID health emergency keeping millions on the Medicaid and Medicare rolls, wouldn't you know it? The problems have gotten worse. Like I told you before, misfeasance, not malfeasance. After Obamacare kicked millions off their private plans, what has 2 thumbs and got kicked off their plan? This guy, too. And after a worldwide pandemic, there's millions more people dependent on big government health care. Worked out great for big government, didn't it? Not so great for you. Even worse, healthcare costs are only going up. Wait, I thought the government was fixing that. It's because they think we're infants and they force us to be completely reliant on big government. They control healthcare, they control everything. Then there's a student loan debacle I covered last week, folks. It got me thinking about this monologue.
Did he just say they control healthcare, they control everything?
Yeah.
What? What about the insurance companies?
What has 2 thumbs and got kicked off their plan? This guy, too. And after a worldwide pandemic, there's millions more people dependent on big government health care.
Stodgy.
Worked out great for big government,
Weird.
didn't it? Not so great for you. Even worse, healthcare costs are only going up. Wait, I thought the government was fixing that. It's because they think we're infants and they force us to be completely reliant on big government. They control healthcare, they control everything.
Right.
Then there's
Or is he saying if they control healthcare, then they control everything? I can't tell.
Yeah, I can't tell what he's insinuating here.
Is Piggy okay?
I haven't seen her in a second. Piglet. Piggy.
Do you hear the pig?
No.
Do you see the pig?
Pig's no key to me.
Yeah, you should
Pudding.
go find the piglet.
Pudding. Pudding. Piglet. Pudding. pig at? Pudding. Pudding. Odd. Pudding normally comes right away.
You haven't found the piglet yet?
No.
Well, I'm worried.
I'm worried now too.
You're worrying me.
Piglet. Did she sneak inside when I went in for a snack? Look at you.
Yeah, funniest? Shit better be amazing.
You want your cheese, Bob? What do you want? You want to go out? What do you want to do? You want your treat?
Let's go for a ride. Let's go for a walk to the dog park, okay? Okay, let's go.
I gotta stop the stream and go find a pudding.
Do you want me to just wait here?
Sure, if you want.
Yeah, I'm just watching content and stuff.
Okay.
Did you close the gate?
No, but I was just out here with her and she was just chilling.
You gotta close the gate, baby button.
Sweetheart, that's not the time.
All right. Russian official dead. Yeah. What's going on here?
Russian state news agencies report a Russian oil executive has State news agencies report a Russian oil executive has died after falling out of a 6th-floor hospital window. Ravil Maganov chaired oil and gas giant Lukoil, now the country's second-largest oil company, called for a fast resolution to Russia's war on Ukraine. And that was back in March. Anna Stewart is following the story for us from London. Anna, peculiar news headline, this board member, this executive falling out of a window. What do we know about what the Russians are saying with regards to his?
Well, I'm officially worried that the dog is not close by. The Peppa button.
Death, and then importantly, are we also looking at Lukoil's stance against the war of Russia in Ukraine?
Well, we certainly are. But let's start with how the reporting of this death has been within Russia. According to Russian state media, we have RIA Novosti, who cited a law enforcement official, quoting him as saying the businessman most likely committed suicide. TASS quoted a source saying the man fell out of the 6th floor window and died as a result of his injuries. And meanwhile, the company statement from Lukoil simply says he passed away following a severe illness with no mention of the fall.
Strange. All right. I think we have to go offline and figure out this dog situation. Fortunately, I'm not in LA. I'm in Toronto, so I can't really do anything other than maybe text my neighbor or whatever. So I'm going to go take care of that. Peace.